Welcome into Rogue Football. I'm your host, Jordan Lugo. Thanks so much for tuning in here today. Right now, we have got our Miami Dolphins 2024 7-round mock draft on deck. This is a critical offseason for Miami, trying not only to keep afloat after some huge departures in free agency, but also they want to take a step forward, actually make a run in the playoffs here in 2024. The Dolphins, they parted ways with Vic Fangio. Anthony Weaver comes over from Baltimore to run the defensive side of things. He should be able to get the job done. Baltimore defensive coaches have been very flexible. They've been adaptive. They've been smart. I think that he's a super well-respected coach, a talented coach that has a talented defense to work with here, even with losing Christian Wilkins, Jerome Baker, Van Ginkel. On the offensive side of the ball, they also lost Robert Hunt. They lose several other players as well. They have already begun, though, with reloading, with Jordan Brooks at linebacker, Shaq Barrett at edge, Aaron Brewer to come in at center, Kendall Fuller and Jordan Poyer to come in and help that secondary out. These are awesome vet additions. I also like the addition of Jonnu Smith to the passing game at tight end. So I think that they've done a lot to reload. The Dolphins are still awesome in their wide receiver room with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, obviously, and the depth that they have there. Tight end, they have talented backfield, 4 out of 5 starters locked in on their offensive line, a good linebacker group, awesome secondary. There's a lot to get fired up about here if you are a Miami Dolphins fan, no doubt about it. Now, losing Robert Hunt, losing Christian Wilkins, if you can get some plus rookies to come in and fill those spots, I'd also like some more offensive line depth, maybe some more edge depth, maybe some size at receiver for the depth there. I think you could be cooking again. I think you could be in a situation where down the stretch, you're one of the hottest teams in the league. I think there are guys on the roster that can replace some of what Christian Wilkins did for you, right? Zach Seiler is awesome. You added Benito Jones, Deshaun Hand, obviously added Neville Gallimore as well. But I want another stud on the interior, if possible, with this 7-round mock draft. This was a super talented and well-coached team that I think basically got derailed by injuries quite a bit down the stretch. It was brutal for them. So I think if you can just get back to playing the kind of football you were and have some more depth in 2024, especially on the offensive and defensive front, you could be in a very good situation. Now, is Tua Tagovailoa a Super Bowl quarterback? Honestly, I still don't know. I lean towards it needing to be close to perfect around him. That's exactly what it could be for the Miami Dolphins in 2024. I think that he's a guy who can get the ball out quickly. When things are on time and working well around him, he can be a super efficient quarterback that gets the job done at a high level. When things fall apart, not as much. But I think that they could be in a position with this draft class, with this free agency, with this offseason to really support him and make sure that they have the pieces in place to get the job done, again, at a very, very high level at quarterback. Only 6 draft picks, no 3rd or 4th rounders. So we've got to nail the picks that we do have. Trading down from 21 overall in the first round could be an option, but I say if the right guy is there at 21, just take him. And for us in this mock draft scenario, the right guy is there. Johnny Newton is too good to pass on out of Illinois. After losing Christian Wilkins, he's not as big as Wilkins. He's not as stout, but he is a stud pass rusher, and he is pretty damn stout in his own right against the run. I think Anthony Weaver could move him around the formation, use him to attack. He has violent hands, insane flexibility. He's super powerful. This is your guy. Plays with natural leverage. He's going to get to the quarterback. He's going to disrupt things up front, and he's going to make it easier on everyone around him to execute. So I love Johnny Newton to them at 21 to create some real juice on the interior. At 55 overall, I think we really need to try to address the offensive line if we can. The interior, I think that you'd like to try to upgrade what you have at right guard. Christian Haynes, for me, I have a top 35 grade on him right now. He's almost a first rounder. This is a perfect fit. Violent, athletic, unbelievable leverage in hands, mirroring skills, anchor. He's an awesome football player. This gets you right back to where you were with Robert Hunt, and then maybe even more. I think Christian Haynes has more potential than Robert Hunt showed as a pass protector. So I think getting Christian Haynes and Johnny Newton in here at 21 and 55 could get you to a spot where you feel like maybe you can even push further than you did in 2023 and 2022. At 158, Mo Kamara, I'm drafting him left and right everywhere I can. With the injuries that they've had on the edge, I like adding him into the mix. And learning from Shaq Barrett could be perfect from him. But this is a guy who's already a ready-made pass rusher, right? Like, he has a bag of pass rush moves, natural leverage, super instinctive, super quick, super explosive. I just love his game, and I think he's going to be an impact designated pass rusher at the next level from day one who can be a starter long term. At 184, I wanted to continue to fortify this offensive front, this offensive line. Delmar Glaze has good length, quick feet, power at the point of attack, can play some tackle or guard, can work to the second level. I like him a lot to kind of solidify the depth behind what you already have in your starting group up front. And I think he's just a solid football player at this point in the draft that should be gone way before 184. At 198, I think the secondary is in a very good place right now, but I think adding a player like DeAndre Prince, you could still use some good, talented young corners. And I think that's exactly what he is. I have Prince valued way higher than this spot. He has speed, aggressiveness, football IQ. He's physical in the run game, very smart in a variety of different coverages. You can tell he's studied the game. I think at 198, it's just a no-brainer. And then at 241, wide receiver Joshua Cephas gives us some size, gives us some length, catch radius. He's another guy that can open things up down the field. When you talk about having Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Jonnu Smith, all the other weapons they have, and then dropping a Joshua Cephas in here, he's 6'3", he's got length, catch radius, and he never drops the football. I think that's just kind of a no-brainer for the Miami Dolphins. So I think this type of class, and again, very small class, I do still think trading down could be an option depending on who's available on the board. Like, if you get to 21 and both Byron Murphy and Johnny Newton are on the board, I could definitely see trading down and trying to land one of them a little bit later so you can acquire more draft capital. But even if you can't, I think with these six picks, all of them are going to make the roster. All of them are going to compete to either make the depth better on the Miami Dolphins roster or start right away. Like, again, Johnny Newton and Christian Haynes, I think when you're talking about replacing Robert Hunt and Christian Wilkins, all the reps they gave you, all the quality play that they gave you out there on the field, those guys can do it and then some. I have Johnny Newton as a better prospect than Christian Wilkins was coming out, right? Obviously, Christian Wilkins has developed into one of the more complete interior defenders in the league who really gives you juice as a pass rusher and as a run defender. And Robert Hunt has become a fantastic guard in his own right. Both of those guys went out and got paid a ton, but I think Christian Haynes and Johnny Newton give you a higher ceiling than what you had with those two. Like, that's not hyperbole on my part. These are two fantastic prospects that I really think are going to quickly endear themselves to Miami Dolphins fans. If you have this type of class combined with some of the in-house development, some of the in-house replacements you have, the free agent additions, I think the Dolphins could be right back where they were, late in the season before the injuries last year, and then pushing at the right time into the playoffs and able to survive some more injuries if those do strike again in 2024. If you're a Dolphins fan, please let me know what you think in the comment section below. If you enjoy the content, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Y'all have a good one.